Not that long ago, I reviewed the Mission Cooling Towel, but guess what? They came out with the next generation. This is called the Mission DuoMax. And yes, although it does have that cooling feature, and we will talk about that in a minute, this one also has a soft terry cloth, which is supposed to be for absorbing sweat. It also has an antimicrobial feature, which deals with odor. But let's talk about that cooling. 11 hours this thing's supposed to keep cold? Wow, that's amazing. If you're new here, my name is Jeff. This is Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing a whole lot of different products I specialize in as seen on TV. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, it's supposed to be almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit today, so I'm looking forward to testing this out. Let's get to it. Here is Mission's newest cooling towel. This is the DuoMax, so it's an absorbent towel and a cooling towel. Look what this says though. Cools up to 11 hours. What? Let's check that out. All right, pull it out, unroll it. Let's cut this tab off. Now we can unroll our cooling towel. All right, so I have a piece of paper. I'm hoping this is the directions in the middle. And it's nothing but a piece of paper. This looks very similar to the cooling towel that I reviewed not that long ago. The only difference is this side here is the part you're supposed to be able to wipe your sweat off with, and this part is the part that's supposed to keep cool. I'm just interested to see if this 11 hours really works. I see the directions here, and I was a little sad when I read to keep cool. I have to wet it completely, so it always has to be wet. Wring it out, snap it 3 times, just like the other towel. But the frustrating part is you got to keep it wet all the time. I might not have access to water. In order to reactivate, simply repeat those steps. So that's how you get the 11 hours. You keep getting it wet, snapping it, and then it keeps you cool. Let's go test it out outside. Before first use, you're supposed to wash on cold and then tumble dry low. So let's do that. Current temperature, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. We have about 44% humidity. I've got my Mission Cooling Towel DuoMax. What I'm going to do is I'm going to completely drench it, get it wet. All right, let's do this. It is all wet. Wring it out. Snap it 3 times. Ready for this? 1, 2, 3. And let's test it out to see how cool it is. Rating in at about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, 24 degrees Celsius. All right, now I want to mow this lawn with my cooling towel. So I have this Mission cooling towel around my neck, and yes, it is very cool here. I've even put it up on my head a little bit, and it keeps me cool, and I like it, but this is still wet. I will say I have been sweating out here, and so to wipe my face like this, I'm just wiping it with a wet towel, and that feels kind of weird. Does it make my sweat come off? I don't know. It just made my face feel wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working out here, mow this lawn, get this thing taken care of, and see how long this cooling lasts. So, have you used either the original Mission cooling towel or the new DuoMax? What are your thoughts? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I've been out here working for the past 30 minutes and the temperature's gone up to 97 degrees Fahrenheit and it is very hot. I've noticed that this has gotten a little warmer, so what I'm going to do, it's still damp, like I can feel the moisture in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap it a couple times to reinitiate that cooling feature. Let me just get a temperature. And if you can read that, it's reading at 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. It's warm out here. Like if you just scan my arm is at 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 30 degrees Celsius. So this thing definitely keeps cool. It's been 30 minutes. It's still damp. I'm going to keep working. As I'm working out here, I noticed that the grass will blow up in my face because it's windy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear this as a mask. So I'm going to take the corner here and pull it through, and then my head will be in this area. I just wanted to show you how I made this just to keep some of that out of my face. This is what it looks like as a mask. I will say I have the cooling material type towards my face, and that part you're supposed to wipe your sweat off away from me. That way it keeps me cool. I will say I have this part on the left side here, and so if it ever starts to pull down, I can just tighten it and it cinches together. I like this because when I'm mowing, every time I take a corner, all that grass just blows up in my face. That way it keeps it out of my nose and out of my mouth and helps maybe keep the allergens down a little. As I come up to the 3-hour mark, you see that the temperature outside here is still pretty high, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm thinking, man, I spent a long time doing yard work. So this is now getting drier. I mean, it's still damp in places. And one thing I didn't do before was to get a temperature check before I snapped it. So right now you're looking at 79 degrees Fahrenheit is right there, or 26 degrees Celsius. Now let's snap this a few times to see if we get a different result. 1, 2, 3. All right, here we go. So a little lower, not much, maybe a degree or two. It definitely feels cooler to the touch, but it's reaching its end, especially now that I don't have any water out here anymore to make this cool. I got it as low as 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius. I'm going to finish up here. This is drying out. I will say I have used this side to wipe off the sweat, and I do like that, but my cooling side is drying out, and that's, well, not as cool. After working outside for about 4 hours with my cooling towel, I can definitely say it's a lot drier than it was before. Therefore, the cooling feature is, well, not as cold. This is, however, still colder than like my shirt or whatnot. Now, I do have to go drench this again, but I'm still impressed that this is cool to the touch, even after 4 hours, only wetting it once. So I'm not comparing the Mission cooling towel to a standard towel, but I did want to show you a standard towel because I've heard the argument before that, you know what, a regular towel keeps you just as cool. So this one is wet. Let's see if you can see any of that. There you go. Some of that water came out. I have wrung it out a lot, but it's still damp. And what I've noticed is this is making my shirt all wet. I don't know if I can see that. Yeah, you can see how that's all wet right there. It's just soaking my shirt. Well, the Mission towel didn't do that because that sort of dried up a little when I wrung it out. It was just damp. Anyway, I will say that this towel is cool around my neck, and I do like that. Now, I'll check back in a little while to let you know how I'm doing. So I've been using this now for the past hour, and I'm going to say it is still wet and it is still cool on my neck, and I did not expect that. I will say the temperature today is about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. When I tested the Mission cooling towel, it was around 90 or 95 degrees Fahrenheit, so it was a lot hotter then. Plus, today it's more of a humid day. The last thing is, this towel feels a lot heavier on my neck than the Mission cooling towel, and that's actually putting a strain on my neck after holding this there for the hour while I was working. I did not feel that with the Mission towel, so that is something with this towel. It is a lot heavier and sort of like weighs you down a little bit. I'm going to check back in at the 4-hour mark, since that's when we stopped testing the Mission cooling towel. This is actually the 3-hour check-in. I know that I said I was going to check in at 4, but I finished my work, and I want to get inside before that storm hits. All right, so this towel is still, well, it's damp. It's not wet anymore, but it's damp, and it actually is still cool. That being said, I have to flip it frequently, every few minutes, because it gets warm against my skin, then I flip it, then it's cool, then I just do that over and over and over again. I do notice there is a kind of a wet towel smell. That's no fun. One last thing is, it's not long enough. Like the Mission towel goes down a little longer. This one, I notice every time I'm mowing the lawn or moving, it falls off, so I have to end up tucking it in here. Now, a regular towel does stay cool, but it's not near as convenient as the Mission towel. In this video, we were looking at the Mission DuoMax. It's their newest cooling towel. So, what did I think of it? Well, let's address that 11 hours of cooling, because I never experienced 11 hours. In fact, for me, after my first use, I noticed a drastic decline after 4 hours, and that's because the towel started to dry, right? That being said, I can re-wet it, wring it out, snap it 3 times, and it's just as cool as it was at the beginning. I just wanted you to know that. Now, there is an argument that, well, any towel wet will keep you cool all day long. Well, it will keep you cool for a period of time, but then typical towels tend to dry out faster. Plus, I used this over a period of a week, and I compared the towel and a Mission towel, and the towel actually started to smell after the week, whereas the Mission towel, the antimicrobial feature, well, it didn't stink. Now, I have washed it a few times, and it's held up during my wash. Anyway, that was my review of the Mission cooling towel. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. Here is the original cooling towel next to the new one. They are about the same size. The difference is this has the cooling material just on one side, where this had it on both sides. And this one, of course, has that terry cloth where I'm supposed to be able to wipe my sweat off or whatnot. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that there's similarities and differences to the original one. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Mission cooling towel. You know what? If you didn't see my original review of the original Mission cooling towel, I'm going to link that right up here. But if you already saw that, I'm also going to link this really neat air conditioner that I reviewed by Midea. And it's a U-shaped air conditioner. Anyway, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to link that right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.